Hi, I'm Roy Hughes. I'm a composer slash synthesist here in Berlin. I've been here for about 2.5 years. I got started in composition and electronic music about when I was 8 years old. My dad brought home a record called Switched On Bach, which was classical music done on a synthesizer, and I'd never heard a synthesizer before. Blew my mind, gave me an appetite for stuff like that. So I started writing electronic music even before I knew how to play a musical instrument. I had a synthesizer that I built myself. Then, as luck would have it, I ran across a music store that actually had synthesizers, and they were teaching people how to use them. So I sort of formally learned how to use some of the nicer synthesizers at the time, ARP 2600, things like that. And fast forward to college, I ended up teaching electronic music very quickly because I knew the gear by the time I showed up to school. And I did my first official score of some kind. It was an audio score for a radio show that was on National Public Radio called For the Record. I just scored the music for the intros, the outros, and sort of the segue sections they use for the radio stuff. My first film I scored was many, many years later, 1995. And I was asked by a friend who had just finished shooting a film if I knew of any composers that could do his film for him. And I said, no, but I'd like to give it a try. And he gave me a shot. I had 3 weeks. It was a feature film. I scored it mostly with electronic keyboards. I wasn't using modular synthesizers at the time, so they were just sort of like standard keyboards that could do a lot of different sounds. And I scored it using a VHS deck that was playing the movie to one screen while I was simultaneously recording what I was doing to another VHS deck, mixing my keyboards in with the sound of the movie at the same time. So it was a very ramshackle kind of system. But by doing this over and over and over again, burning through a lot of VHS tapes in the process, 3.5 weeks later, I had the score done, just in time to get it sent out for print, and then it came back and was screened at the Austin Film Festival. And luckily, we went on. The screening went very well, and we went on to win the Austin Film Festival. So that was my first experience scoring a film and winning an award, which was really cool.